So we're on Unit 4B, Tossing and Turning. We're still talking about sleep. So we're going to read some of these sentences, and you can follow along or you can pause and read on your own, whatever you like. So we're going to start with the first sentence. Sometimes I lie awake at night, even if I'm really tired. Sometimes I think that happens to all of us once in a while. You're really tired, but you're still awake. All right, look at the second one. I'm lucky I can get by on 6 hours of sleep, considering that most people need 8. Okay, so it says, I'm lucky because it's like saying I can survive on 6 hours of sleep, and most people need 8. So that's why you're lucky. Look at the next one. I'm a light sleeper, so any little noise wakes me up unless I'm really tired. Any of you all a light sleeper? I mean, any noise you hear, it wakes you up right away. All right, number 4. I can manage on 5 hours of sleep as long as I take a nap during the day. Okay. That means you're okay with 5 hours, but you need to take a nap. All right, next one. Unless I get a good night's sleep, I can easily fall asleep at school, at work, or even on the bus. Okay. Next one. I always set 2 alarm clocks just in case one of them doesn't go off. And when it says go off, that means it's ringing. It's actually on, but we say it goes off. In other words, the time is over. Okay. I know it sounds a little bit of opposite of what it means. Okay, next one. I only wake up early if I have somewhere to be in the morning. Okay. I never have any trouble sleeping. Now that's wonderful. I'm exhausted every morning, even if I slept great all night. What does exhausted mean? Just very, very tired. You're just very sleepy, very tired. No energy. So the reading here reflects some of the grammar that we're going to look at. We're going to look at phrases like even if, unless, only if, as long as, just in case. So we're going to look at reasons and conditions, clauses stating reasons and conditions. But first, we're going to go ahead and look at some vocabulary. Vocabulary related to sleep. All right, so we have expressions related to sleep, we have a chart here, and we need to put these expressions about sleep in the correct categories. So, of course, we have a chart here, and you can get your PDF copy below or above this, actually, above this video, and you can fill it in as we go. All right, so here is our grammar box. We have all of our expressions related to sleep, and you might be familiar with some of these. Some of them you may not be. Some of them sound very unusual. All right, so the first one is done for us, sleeping deeply. Be fast asleep. So be meaning a state of be. You could use am, is, are, was, were, any of those states of be. He is fast asleep. That just means he is sleeping very deeply. Okay, doesn't mean you went to sleep quickly or anything like that. You're just in a deep sleep. So be fast asleep. All right, let's look at the next one below. Take a power nap. Okay, a power nap. If you remember from our reading, somebody taking a power nap. Basically, sleeping a short time. Okay, remember you take that 5 or 10 minute nap and then you wake up more energetic. And sometimes they say that works for some people. Okay. Have a sleepless night. Sleepless. If you have a sleepless night, what does that mean? Having trouble sleeping, falling asleep. How about having trouble sleeping? Somebody said, oh, someone asked you, how did you sleep? And you said, oh, I had a sleepless night. That means you didn't get any sleep, or you got very, very little sleep. Sleepless night. All right, look at the next one. Be wide awake. I am wide awake. What does that mean? Now, if these are our choices, okay, having trouble sleeping, falling asleep, sleeping a short time, sleeping deeply, those are your only choices, which one would you pick? You know, if you want to sleep, but you are wide awake. Yes, having trouble sleeping. But I'm not sleepy, I'm wide awake, I can't go to sleep. Okay, now this can actually be used in a positive way. You know, maybe somebody asks you if if you're ready. Are you ready? For your meeting this morning. Are you ready to go? Yes, I'm wide awake. I feel good, and I'm wide awake. Okay, you're alert. You're awake. But if you want to go to sleep and you're wide awake, you're having trouble sleeping. So you don't always have to use it in this context to mean that you're having trouble. You can use it to mean, well, I am alert and I'm awake, I'm ready. Okay. So just depending on the context that you're using it. All right, the next one, be sound asleep. He is sound asleep. Yes, sleeping deeply. And I think this one is more common now than to be fast asleep. I don't hear that expression as much. Sometimes I might see it or read it in older stories, old storybooks, but in conversation, most people say sound asleep. Okay, the children are sound asleep. Okay, they're sleeping deeply. All right, look at the next one. Sleep like a log. What does that mean? First of all, what's a log? Basically part of a tree, right, that's been cut. When you put wood on the fire, that's like a log, a piece of wood. Okay, so if you sleep like a log, you're not moving, you're very still, so sleeping deeply. You may have an expression like this in your own language. All right. The next one, feel drowsy. If you feel drowsy, we would put that for falling asleep. Feel drowsy. Sometimes if you look on the back of your, if you have a bottle of medication and it says, may cause drowsiness, it means it might make you sleepy. So maybe you're not asleep yet. You haven't fallen asleep yet, but you're close because you feel sleepy. Feel drowsy. You feel very sleepy. You're not asleep yet, but you're just like, oh, you're just very sleepy. Okay. Then the next one, drift off. Drift off. Yes, falling asleep. Say, oh, I was drifting off today in the meeting. Okay, you were falling asleep. To drift off. You could also put that for sleeping a short time. I drifted off, just sleeping a few minutes. All right, how about this one? Well, actually, let's go to this one. Toss and turn. Toss and turn. It means you're moving, turning, if you're trying to sleep. Yes, definitely having trouble sleeping. To toss and turn. Somebody says, oh, I tossed and turned all night long. I was so worried about my presentation, or I was, I drank too much caffeine. I tossed and turned all night. So, you couldn't get comfortable. Just, yeah, you were awake. So, trouble sleeping. Okay, then we have nod off. Nod off. Sometimes we think of a nod, your head. We nod. Okay. If you're sitting there and you feel very sleepy and pretty soon you start to fall asleep, your head falls forward, you wake up. Your head falls forward again because you're sleepy. Sometimes you see people doing this. They're falling asleep, and so I think I just told you what that is. Yes. Nod off. Falling asleep. Okay. Sleeping a short time as well. Okay, so you can use both of those to talk about falling asleep. You're just at that very beginning stages of falling asleep, to nod off or to drift off. Okay, and sleeping a short time. You could say, oh, I kept nodding off in class today, or I was so sleepy and I kept nodding off on the bus. Okay, so you can use nod off and drift off for both of those, falling asleep or sleeping a short time. Okay, these are very common. They're good to know. Practice using them this week. See if you can use some of these in a sentence. And next, we're going to go ahead and go to grammar.